soon this bump is going to be painted yellow, so hopefully that will compel people to come to a complete stop. So while I've been out here using this radar gun to see how fast people are going, this is really what's causing the problem for the people in this town. It is cutting off access to some of the homes, the businesses. Nobody from the mayor to council members could answer how many cameras are supposed to be installed in the West End. People who live there feel that there's a lot of finger pointing going on because they feel, you made promises about installing those cameras when Dominique Davis died.
I mean, is it worth it to be spending that much money when, only 4 kids have been taken there so far?
The firefighters really went to great lengths to rescue Blue from deep down inside that well.
Good evening, I'm Marella Porter. An officer-involved shooting leaves a man dead in Adams County, and we have just learned from the Adams County coroner. New video of the downtown brawl shows more of what happened as the violence broke out. And it's the only thing people can talk about right now.
Yeah.
Here there's a snowstorm coming. David Winter is live at the airport as the number of on-time flights is falling and frustrations are rising. David. Kentucky State Police say the gunman shot the trooper around 11:30 this morning. All right, Daniel. Yeah, the snow, the cold, the wind, all of the elements. Cincinnati's extreme winter weather daytime shelter. And here in the tri-state, we finally got a chance to defrost today. A lot of melting going on. All right, take notes here. From an unresolved argument with a relative to the great aunt who always asks when you're gonna get married or having a baby.
When?
Please don't. A local man is facing charges tonight after allegedly pulling a gun on his child's basketball coach following a game. And 6 people have been charged in connection to that brawl. 4 of those people are in custody. As many of us head back to work, we're laboring today, but there are people who aren't. Breaking tonight, President Trump says Iran's supreme leader has been killed following a joint U.S. and Israeli military operation. Iran has confirmed his death, and officials there say the strikes have killed at least 130 people, prompting retaliatory strikes. National correspondent Atra El-Nashar has the latest on the escalating tension in the Middle East. And tonight, Israel is launching more strikes at Iran. The Israeli Defense Force says it's targeting the country's aerial defense systems in the capital city of Tehran. U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth says the missile strikes are the consequence of Iran refusing to sign a peace deal with the U.S. President Trump is promising more attacks on the country in the coming days. Democratic Representative Greg Landsman says all members of Congress were notified of the plans for a targeted military strike yesterday. He is among several local politicians speaking out on the attack. Republican Senator Bernie Moreno is also weighing in a statement saying, quote, "I fully support President Trump's decision to eliminate the threat once and for all. Once it became clear there was no other option. I have complete trust in him to finally bring peace to the Middle East." Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear is critical of the action. In a statement, Beshear said, quote, "The president could have made his case at the State of the Union, but instead played political games. He owes Congress and the American people a full explanation." Beshear going on to say these actions put American troops at significant risk. And people in the tri-state are protesting the strikes. Local 12's Daniel Zivian was at a demonstration downtown and joins us in studio. And Daniel, you also spoke with some local Iranian students. We'll continue to bring you the latest developments from the Middle East. Stay with Local 12 News on air and online at local12.com, as well as on our free Local 12 News app. An hour-long police chase comes to an end in Harrison after injuring an officer. Harrison police say the chase started in Norwood. They say the suspect, who has not been identified, crossed into Indiana before leading officers back to Harrison. The suspect allegedly hit a Cincinnati police officer's cruiser on Harrison Avenue and then struck another cruiser before crashing into a tree. We're told one officer suffered minor injuries. The suspect was also injured. Charges are pending. The search continues for a local teenager now missing for more than 2 weeks. This as the investigation into her disappearance leads to the arrest of a man in New York. 16-year-old Madison Fields disappeared February 13th. Her parents say she was last seen leaving in-town suites on Coleraine Avenue, where the family was staying. The girl's father says after she left, he discovered the teen was planning to meet with an 18-year-old man she'd been messaging on an app called Session. As the family continues searching, her grandfather says they are not giving up. FBI has arrested a man from Buffalo. 43-year-old Kyle Lawrence is facing federal sexual exploitation charges, but we want to be clear, he is not facing charges in her disappearance. Detectives say Lawrence traveled to Cincinnati twice in January to meet up with the teen. Thursday, agents searched Lawrence's home and found several devices containing child sexual abuse material. The FBI says Lawrence was the subject of another investigation in 2024. The agency says a vigilante group accused Lawrence of traveling to Canada to meet a teenage girl for sex, and agents in Buffalo had been in contact with him. Anyone with information that can help investigators should contact Crime Stoppers. That number is 513-352-3040. All right, we are one day closer to spring, and it really showed today. But tonight, there's some rain falling across the tri-state. Meteorologist Eric DeBroca is tracking colder air moving back in. And no wait weather. Hi, Eric. A former Reds pitcher is sentenced to life in prison without parole. A California jury convicted 52-year-old Dan Serafini of murdering his father-in-law and attempting to kill his mother-in-law. Prosecutors say the former MLB pitcher broke into their home in Tahoe City, California, and waited several hours before attacking the couple. Serafini's sister-in-law detailed the crime in court. Serafini tried to get a new trial last week. A judge denied that request. Serafini maintains his innocence, saying, quote, "I am not a killer." Serafini played 7 years in the major leagues. He pitched for the Reds in 2003. Tomorrow, a local pizzeria is serving its last slice. Next, why the goodbye is baking something new.
At the scene, Marella.
Yeah, Paula, 10 people were hospitalized, one of them with life-threatening injuries, 5 with serious injuries after the balcony that they were standing on at this apartment complex here on Stetson Street in Corryville broke off of the building. Taking a look at some video that we have from someone who has a social media account, it's called HC Buffs, shows the debris with first responders tending to some of those people who were on the ground. We were here when we saw some of them taken on stretchers into ambulances. Again, we're told by Cincinnati police that people were hanging out on a balcony here. This is not necessarily student housing, but a lot of UC students do live at this apartment complex, and they believe that some of the people who were injured are students. Again, 10 people injured after a balcony ripped off of this apartment building here on Stetson Street in Corryville. One of them life-threatening injuries, 5 of them serious injuries, the rest minor. Paula?
Marella, I was looking at that video. I don't know if you had a chance to see it. We see one balcony that looks like it's about 20 feet in the air, and then a unit next to it that doesn't have a balcony. So is that what we were seeing in that video, that a balcony that is just completely gone?
So
oh yeah, I can see it in the bottom there. Yeah.
Panning, panning, it's on the ground, so panning up, you can kind of see where it tore off. It's just that one balcony, yes, it is above about 20 feet above the ground, so those, young adults, they pretty much fell about 20 feet onto the ground here, and you can see where that balcony is just kind of tilted, leaning up against the building. Cincinnati Fire, one of the chiefs is about to come over and also give us another update as well. Paula?
It's like it should look like the one that's next to it. It doesn't have any poles or bracing, so it was just...
Did you want to come talk to us real quick, just to give us a little update about what's going on? Obviously, we heard from Cincinnati police and what they had to say about this. What do you think is important for people to know? Obviously, at least one person, life-threatening injuries, 5 in serious condition. What more should we know? Okay. So, again, hearing that update, one person with very serious injuries, life-threatening injuries, 5 in serious condition. That person with life-threatening injuries is in surgery right now. At this point, they don't know how many people exactly were standing on that balcony when it broke off of that apartment building. But obviously, just a really sad scene here. A lot of students live at this apartment complex near UC. I know, when we were coming on the scene, there were a lot of students who were pretty frustrated about what was going on. They had to, see their friends taken away in stretchers. So just a difficult, they were celebrating passing an exam, and this is how their Friday night ended up, turning out, Paula. Kyle, those shots were fired around 1 o'clock this morning, and the response by Cincinnati police was very quick because off-duty officers were working a detail here. Now, Cincinnati police say between 500 and 600 people were inside of this venue. An outside promoter was hosting a party.
The shooting appeared to be targeted.
We had a gentleman pull a weapon out and fire shots at another patron.
Tim Jordan, the owner of Riverfront Live, says that's what his surveillance cameras captured. He was inside the venue, standing at a side door when the shots were fired.
Just a mass crowd of everybody trying to come out the side door. I mean, really all I could do was just try to get everybody off the ground and get them out safely.
Surveillance cameras from a neighboring car shop captured the sound of gunfire. And then the sounds of the commotion that followed. Gage Skillman, the shop's owner, didn't hear the shots but saw what his cameras captured as dozens of people burst through a door, spilling into the parking lot, running to safety.
I noticed in one of the videos what looks to me like blood all over the floor when it zoomed in to the side door on the building. You see dozens of people running through one door, which is awful to see. People tripping, falling, just trying to get to safety.
Jordan says safety is a priority at Riverfront Live. He says everyone attending the party was required to walk through a metal detector and patted down. Off-duty Cincinnati police officers were working the parking lot. The question is how the unidentified shooter got a gun inside.
We had police detail here, so we're trying to get the detail in the door, trying to get, everybody out safely, and at the same time, we don't know where they are in the building.
However, one of the party's promoters posted this on Facebook. He says the club, quote, made promises and failed. The promoter claims security was aware of people sneaking into the venue, but were acting, quote, scared to remove them.
And some of that information, particularly from the promoter who claimed that, security was not what they expected here, surfaced after our interview with Jordan earlier today. I am working to reach him to address those claims and the security concerns. Now, he says that he will no longer be working with outside promoters. For now, live in the East End, Marella Porter, Local 12 News.
It's no secret. Cincinnati is for runners. And right now, run clubs are taking off, drawing hundreds of people every week.
And whatever your pace is, whatever your interests are, there's a group for you here in Cincinnati.
Area 513, Running as Player, and Cincy Run Club all started last year with small groups of friends who wanted to bring people together with a purpose. Each group offers something different in the people that join, the places they explore, and how they build their community.
And we want to be out there, we want to be weird, because if we can show that you can be out there and weird, maybe you feel more comfortable being yourself.
It's not a race or a competition.
We're trying to, I think, lower the bar for what people think it means to be a runner.
People are powering through their comfort zones.
They run with you, they keep the pace, and it kind of gives you a push to go forward.
We wanted everyone to be included, so we do walking, jogging, and we just wanted to be family friendly.
For Tim Johnson, Running as Player is about showing people how fitness can fit into their lives.
I say a player is doing things the right way. Running as Player is just like running is cool. Running is the right thing to do. The run community in Cincinnati is something that I'm blown away by.
It's more than breaking a sweat. Run clubs are building community, which they found is what people are looking for, and the reason why Malcolm Depke started Cincy Run Club.
So it's never been about running first. You're totally right. It's always been about bringing people together, meeting new people, making new friends.
Social media is the fuel for the traction that's getting so many people up and moving.
The interest has really exploded, not only on Instagram, but the people that show up to every run.
The content they're posting on Instagram is fun, inviting, engaging, and real.
It's just taken off. So we've gone from anywhere from like 20 to 30 runners to 100 to 110 every single run.
There's a place for you in the thriving Run Club community. All you have to do is show up. And remember, Cincinnati is for runners.